Hit them fast. Raise the flags. Raise the flags. Hit them fast. Secure the bag. Don't even blink. Make them walk the plank. Light them up. Let's make them sing. Fire the cannons. Fire the cannons. Fire the cannons. On Bucks, yeah, we on. Fire the cannons. Fire the cannons. Fire the cannons. The whole field's our red zone. Let me give you 55 reasons why this is our season. Palm trees breezing, opposing teams bleeding.
All right, welcome back to Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I will follow you back. And I'm joined by my co-host, my esteemed colleague, KB, not to be mistaken for Shaq Barrett, but Ken Barrett. How you doing tonight, man?
Good. Whatever you gave up to NFL Jesus for the Super Bowl, I might have to start doing the same for Tom Brady to come back.
Yeah, you may have to. So you just reach out to NFL Jesus, NFL_Jesus on Twitter. Follow him if you're not. But anyway, special guest tonight, my man. It's so funny. We just met each other and we started talking last time I was in Tampa a couple of weeks ago. A really nice guy, Jeff Attinella. How you doing? USF product. So he's a local guy here, Clearwater, Florida. You know, I love it. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I appreciate you guys having me on. Yeah, USF product, moved around a little bit, but now I'm back in the Bay Area. I just gotta say that song's a jam.
Yeah, I can get you the link to that, man. I'll definitely get that over to you.
I was hyped.
So if you guys don't know him or don't recognize him, you were the goalie for the Rowdies in 2012, right?
Yes, sir. So I played for the Rowdies in 2011 and 2012, and then went to the MLS, played for Real Salt Lake, kind of near your neck of the woods in Arizona for 4 years, and then just retired. Played 5 years with the Portland Timbers. So, the other football, but, I've always stayed pretty close to the Bucks and been beating the Bucks drum pretty much everywhere I've moved, and it really didn't pay off until the last year. So at least I had that going for me.
You know what?
Did you go to Clearwater High School by chance?
I went to Countryside.
Countryside. Do you know a soccer player named Brian Shriver?
Yeah, I do.
No way.
World,
so
man.
he worked for my company and is like really good friends with my fiance. So small world.
Nice. Yeah, I knew him. Soccer is a very small world. I knew him growing up, but that is probably not what this show is about.
No, it's another kind of football. Football's life, though.
Exactly. Everything else is just details. What are you doing with yourself nowadays?
What am I doing? So I just retired. 11-year professional soccer goalkeeper. Body got beat up a little bit. So I just retired from soccer, and my family owns Smack Apparel. So my wife's family owns Smack Apparel. I'm sure people with this show are familiar with it. And yeah, so I'm just learning the business. I've been brand developing and doing some social content for them and, trying to build the brand out and kind of learning the ins and outs now that I'm, feet up, retired, smoking cigars at night. Not really, but
Joe Burrow style.
Yeah, so I've just been learning a lot about Smack and, kind of went to a couple Bucks games and just trying to, settle into this Tampa lifestyle a little bit.
Man, there's nothing like it, man. When I was there, just checking out the facility, I love going to Smack Apparel, by the way. And I'm not just saying that because of my relationship with Smack Apparel, but you see all these cool shirts and it's cool to see where the ideas come from for a lot of these different ideas that you guys have, where it all comes from. So
they also take ideas from fans, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's super chill. Like at the end of the day, it's funny. So one of the first times I met my wife before she was my wife, she was wearing a Rays shirt that was, the new Beast of the East back the first time that they won the AL East.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, or I was wearing the shirt and I was like, she was like, oh my God, that's our shirt. And I was like, what? Like you own the shirt? Yeah. Like everybody in Tampa owns the shirt, She goes, no, that's my dad's shirt. That's my dad's company. And then right then I was like, hey, should we go on a date?
Wait, did you actually do that and it worked?
No. That would be good though, right?
So you're like, oh, we got free shirts coming here. Oh, yeah.
That's when I was like, hey, her dad seems pretty cool. At their core, it's just a bunch of sports fans trying to make shirts that, the fan bases really love and try to get behind. So it's a fun company to work for and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that is awesome. So, guys, it's Super Bowl week. I don't know if you've given a lot of thought. I'm there's a lot of things going on right now. I really feel like Tampa should have been where the Rams are, but you can't cry over spilled milk. And just looking at these two teams, you've got two really good quarterbacks in Joe Burrow and Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's just been in the pit of misery that is almost his whole career, and then he gets a little change of scenery and things change up for him. So, what I was going to ask both of you, I mean, what are your thoughts, about this quarterback matchup?
Just trade for Joe Burrow. Just do it.
Yeah, if it were that easy, if it were social media easy, we can just say, yeah, we'll take Joe Burrow and we'll give you Jack Sitchy or somebody like that, and we'll just make the trade.
No, but really, so like the latest one, I'll just touch on. We'll probably go around table, but like Kyler Murray, just throw that one out the window. His coach literally just tried this tactic for trying to throw your name out there, and it's just not going to happen. Kyler's 5'9", maybe, if he's wearing cleats. Like that's not a Bruce Arians prototype. This isn't his kind of offense. He needs a more, horizontal, not as much vertical. Guys in space running spread. That's what Kyler does. That's what he's really good at. That's why Cliff and the Cardinals drafted him.
Yeah,
he owns that system. He's not leaving it. So
I think could it be leverage for him to get more money?
Dude, we're talking about $300 to $400 million. Yes, it's leverage to get money.
Jeff, your thoughts?
I thought we were talking Burrow Stafford. Are we talking Bucks quarterbacks?
Yeah, no, we're actually talking Bucks quarterbacks because Burrow ain't happening.
Yeah,
we'll probably end on the Super Bowl, but it ain't happening.
So if you'll notice on social media, everybody's got their idea of what quarterback is coming to Tampa.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, I see a lot of people hating on the Jimmy G idea, which I don't really understand.
Let's do it.
We're essentially going to be right. This is exactly what the Patriots wanted to do in theory, right? They were trying to get rid of Brady to let Jimmy G kind of take the reins. So if we're going to be the model for what they were trying to do, why would we I don't understand why people are so against that idea.
So here's my thing. It's his salary.
He seems like the most realistic quarterback, right? Out of all the people.
Well, it's his salary that's not so fun to fit in here. And then also, you're still going to have to give at least maybe a 2 or a couple 2s or like a 2 and a 3, a conditional 1. Like, that's just too much to me. And then Jimmy, he literally got handed the easiest system in the NFL. And to me, he kind of fell on his face. 3 years ago, Jimmy did great. He missed that one throw in the Super Bowl. I just think we're talking about a completely different quarterback at this time.
But don't you think? I mean, don't you think that I think the division is completely up. Like the division is ours to win, right? Yeah. We have the best defense in the division. We probably have the best weapons in the division. Go get a quarterback that can win you a division, and I think Jimmy G can win you a division. He's been to an NFC Championship game and a Super Bowl when he's healthy. I don't see the big issue with Jimmy G that everyone has with Jimmy G.
I want to hear Gene on this.
Okay. And I'm going to say this. I mean, I've watched the guy play, and what I've noticed about him is they try to keep the ball out of his hands. I mean, making plays. And as KB mentioned, this is that's the simplest system in the NFL. Coming into Bruce Arians' system, I mean, when you look at how long it took, I mean, Tom Brady's like an offensive coordinator on the field. He's kind of an anomaly. You look at what Jameis Winston went through with this system. There are other quarterbacks that have played in the system too that just their first season didn't work for them. It didn't click. I just don't know how he would transition into such a hard to learn system.
Like a gunslinger, almost like a gunslinger type system, yeah.
Gene, believe it or not, when I used to teach and coach, I did coach soccer for a little bit, so hang in with me to my soccer fans out there. As a goalie, would you agree probably the best setup for you is to have like a 4-4-2 so you have more people in the back that you can communicate with and help you on the defensive end, right?
I mean, you can go 5.
You can even go 5, right? That would help you. Think of Kyle Shanahan's offense as having 5 defensemen back there for you.
So now in Bruce, super protective of the quarterback.
That's what Kyle Shanahan is. Now Bruce Arians will literally go, let's have 1 defender back there. Let's have 5 attackers.
So who do you think makes the most sense? Do you think staying within the system, or do you think trying to go get who?
Well, to me, it's who's available, and that's going to be the tough question. Does what's his face from New England, Josh McDaniels, does he actually love Derek Carr?
I mean,
Does
there's no way
Shanahan
the
maybe
Raiders-
want to
there's no
even
way
hold
the
on to
Raiders would
Jimmy
get-
G for even a little bit? Like, who's actually? I mean, I'm not saying Jameis Winston, but people have thrown that one out there. I mean, I would personally, I'd rather take Jameis Winston on a 1-year prove it incentive laden deal than Jimmy G, because Jimmy G, you're paying for like 3 years. Like he got paid.
maybe 3 Super Bowls.
Oh man, we got the Jimmy G fan club in here. I
Yeah,
love
there
it.
here
I
we
do like
go.
Jimmy G. I do
But
like
my whole
Jimmy
thing
G. I
is
don't
like
mind
it
him.
just Bruce Arians makes the quarterback's job so hard. Like it's literally stupid how much he puts on them. It's just not even fair. Like I would hate to be a quarterback personally in Bruce Arians' system just because it's that fucking hard.
How long do you think Bruce Arians is going to stick around, though?
2 or 3 years max.
Yeah.
At least. Right now, they've got a defense. They've got real good offensive weapons as well. I'm real curious to see what happens with Chris Godwin. I think they're going to re-sign him, but at the end of the day, when I look at this system, I'd like to see what Kyle Trask can do. I'd like to see, I've heard that he's not ready, but again, we haven't seen him, so
That's true, but Gene, they didn't even throw him out there with the second string or even the third string last year, and that's what pisses me off. Like if Brady didn't just make this on a whim decision a week or two ago, like they could have seen last preseason and been like, okay, Ryan Griffin's never gonna fucking play a snap for this team.
right.
Let's throw Trask out there with the second and third string. Let's just see what happens. They didn't do that. And that's what pisses me off because you just have nothing to go off other than just blind faith. And I don't like blind faith.
Yeah, me either. It's not my thing.
I just don't see a way that they go with the guys that they already have because
you can't.
they need to win now. They have to win now.
Yeah.
They're in win
Bruce
now
Arians
mode,
ain't
so you
here
gotta go
to draft
get a
another
quarterback.
guy. No.
Yeah, you have to go get a quarterback. You have to.
Yeah, and I've seen Aaron Rodgers' name thrown around, but again, that's not going to happen.
Well, Green Bay's already proven they won't trade within the conference when you play them in the same year, which that happened with Favre, and now the Bucs are playing the Packers next year.
It's kind of fun to have this back, though, isn't it? The QB talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's part of me that missed it a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know what? I can't go that far because it was nice. It was nice with all the GMs on hiatus and just letting everything kind of go as it does. It's kind of cool to talk about, but at the end of the day, I want them to get somebody solid. As you guys have known, we've suffered for years with inconsistent quarterback play, inconsistent offensive line. There's just been a lot of factors that have led to the ineptness that we've seen with the Buccaneers. So let's, I have trust in Jason Light. I believe that Jason Light's going to right the ship and, get us somebody in here that will help us be contenders and getting back into the playoffs and, getting to the Super Bowl maybe.
And this is all I'm going to say here is we don't know necessarily who's going to be available at the end of the day.
Right.
No one thought this time 2 years ago Brady, I think Jeff Darlington might have been the only person in America that knew Brady wasn't going back to the Patriots. Like, no, you don't know anything.
I was still mad.
That's just going to. Well, I remember when I first joined this podcast, to everyone out there, as well as our esteemed guest, it was literally the week before Brady signed. And this man, I threw it out there because I wrote for Pewter Playing back then, and I wrote articles on it, and I got bashed for it. But you know what? Because of all the clicks, I got paid for it. But at the end of the day, this man was just so upset about Jameis Winston's pick six. Nothing I said could convince him
pick
otherwise.
six and he lost to Atlanta.
But Gene just wasn't in for Tom Brady, and then he finally, the last couple months, has really just been at ease. Like we won the Super Bowl, like he was enjoying life, and then Gene loses Tom Brady.
Yeah,
He didn't even get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I mean, I right when he threw that pick versus Tennessee to lose it, I sent him a tweet. He probably read it, honestly. I was like, Brady, think of all the pirate ship hype videos you can make down here in Tampa. And then he started making hype videos later in life. I'm just saying.
There you go.
Well,
man.
his whole personality changed. That was the fun part of him in Tampa.
That's
what I'll always remember.
He came alive. Brady came alive in Tampa. People universally didn't really like Brady because he was on the Patriots and he was like this evil empire. He came down to Tampa won a Super Bowl, went on a boat parade, got drunk, had fun, and everyone all of a sudden loved Brady. The entire perception of Brady changed in Tampa, which I think is pretty cool. Like the city and the environment
Tampa
and the
brings
culture
that out
down
of
here.
everybody.
Yeah, it helped him. It kind of helped him establish himself, as a likable person, and he wasn't always like that. So no matter what happens with Brady, if he comes back, I don't think he's going to come back, but like no matter what happens, at least it's cool that Tampa had that type of impact on, the greatest football player of all time. It's pretty cool. I think it's cool.
Real quick, I want to take a little segue here because while we're talking about Tom Brady, would you put him in the Ring of Honor?
No.
Oh, of course. I'd build him a statue. I'd name a building after him. He won a road. What does he want down here?
I will shout out Rick Stroud. He threw out the idea. You know how they just built that beach, Gene?
Mm-hmm.
That beach right in front of the stadium? So the statue of Brady would be him tossing the Lombardi to Cam Brate with his daughter being like, "No, Dad, no." That's the statue.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That would be incredible. That really would. I say yes. There have been a lot of people that have said, no, he hasn't been here long enough. But what I will say to this is my argument. Tom Brady came in. He changed the culture. You always hear that cliche, changing the culture of the locker room. He literally
Lovie Smith's still using that.
Yeah. He changed the culture of the locker room. He got the city of Tampa and the Bay Area to buy into the Buccaneers. I mean, just everything that he did when he got here, he flipped it. It's almost like when Tony Dungy came, from all the years of futility that we had up until that point, he flipped everything. And he's one of those players that he came in and everybody bought in and everybody came together and they worked as a team.
No, Brady changed Brady changed the franchise forever.
Right.
He truly changed the franchise forever. The second that he walked in through the door and, was leading those practices at the local high school, he changed everything about the Bucs.
Berkeley Prep.
What high school was that?
He changed the perception. He changed, the mentality within the locker room. And I know you threw out Jameis, but to be honest, I felt like Jameis when he was here. I'm a pro Jameis guy. I like Jameis. I thought he was so much fun to watch. I thought that Jameis felt like he had to do everything, right? Like he felt like he had to lead the locker room. He had to lead the huddles. He had to do everything. He had to be the captain. And it felt like he constantly felt like when he was under pressure. But when he was in New Orleans, it didn't seem that way. It just seemed like he was trying to play his position and only worried about his position.
Brady, see, that's the problem with Bruce. I think a lot of that's on Bruce Arians, though.
Maybe, but now that Brady's kind of established, now you have an entire locker room full of Super Bowl champions. Now it's not, you know what I mean? It's not on Jameis. It's on everybody. And now,
but as a former athlete, a professional athlete, let's say a team chose a different goalie over you, man. They came in and they signed Tim Howard to be their goalie. Would you want to go back to them?
I mean, listen, it's happened to me in my career.
Let's hear. This is the stuff we need to hear, man.
Yeah,
you have to stay in the locker room, and you got to stay a part of the team. And it doesn't matter, man. A job's a job. If a team wants you in, then you go and play for them. If they want you, why wouldn't Jameis want to come back here?
Seeing tamed Jameis, I think was fun. I think that was great. If any team out there is going to sign Jameis, seeing what he did last year, I think is super encouraging.
Yeah. I thought I thought Jameis looked great. So happy for him. And then when he got hurt, that was honestly, it was pretty heartbreaking as a Bucs/Jameis fan.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. Just, he was out there playing. I wanted him to make it through the whole game. I wanted to see how Jameis did against the Bucs.
I'm not happy he tore his ACL, but I'm kind of glad he didn't. I think that game would have been a blowout, that first one.
So? Wow. I don't know.
I think the Bucs play. I mean, it's to his credit, he didn't turn the ball over or anything. I think the Bucs just were that bad, and we've seen even with Trevor Siemian or Taysom Hill at quarterback, they just don't know how to get ready.
They don't match the intensity. Yeah, it's always been one of those things.
But I mean, I think that would have been great for Jameis's resume to have a 20-point win over the Bucs.
Yeah,
because I think it would have happened.
Yeah, you just never know. But just kind of getting back to that, KB, so you guys do agree that you would put Tom Brady in the Ring of Honor
immediately. I'm surprised they don't have construction there already.
Yeah,
even if he came back and played, he'd still be in the Ring of Honor.
Yeah, true. So I'm going to kind of
Would
stick
you
with
would you would your perception if Brady came out of retirement and went to play for somebody else? How would you feel about that?
If he does that, I would love for him to allow us to trade him. Because if we just cut him outright, like we'd still have to take on salary and play all of that kind of shit. Like imagine, for instance, like if you want to talk about the Jimmy G thing, for instance, if the Bucks actually wanted Jimmy G, that structure makes more sense than cutting Tom Brady, letting him go to the 49ers, and then just trading a second or whatever for Jimmy G. Like that makes to me no sense. Like if Tom's going to actually come back and wants to play for someone else, negotiate a way to trade him, even if it's for like a 3rd-round pick plus a player or a quarterback or something.
And the fact that Tom Brady destroyed the Atlanta Falcons, their fan base and everything else, I will never begrudge anything towards that guy. And you know this, KB, when he came, I was like, okay, cool, we got Tom Brady, but I'm still mad about this game. But I haven't forgot what he did to Atlanta. So he's welcome here with open arms as far as I'm concerned. If you guys don't know, I hate the Atlanta Falcons. Most people have that division rivalry with the New Orleans Saints. Mine goes back further, and I don't like the Atlanta Falcons at all. So I was perfectly happy with them getting destroyed and ending up where they've ended up right now in the pit of misery. But that's just
the Falcons, huh?
They're up here on them in Dallas, the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know who I dislike more. With Dallas getting into the playoffs and making a little bit of noise before they all flamed out. You got more of those we them boys things, and thank goodness that was all washed away as well. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, if Tom Brady ended up coming back, wanting to play somewhere else, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I mean, he's done so much for the community. He's done so much for Tampa, putting Tampa on the map and helping people recognize some of the players like Levante David and Vita Vea and some of these other players, helping them get recognized for, what they've been doing that nobody's been able to see because Tampa has not been winning games for all these years. So there's that.
What'd they have? 9 Pro Bowlers this year? Something like that?
This is horrible. I'm not sure. I had to look and see.
I want to say it was 9.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like that would hurt though. I would miss Brady if he came back somewhere else.
Because it was so like you were alluding to it earlier. We didn't talk about the quarterback position for a couple of years. It just wasn't anything that we really discussed. It was kind of like, well, who are you going to have after Brady leaves? But but then it would go away because the Bucks would win another game, and the Bucks would win another game, and it was fun to have that, comfort that you're not having to worry about the quarterback at this point.
There's something fun about quarterback debates, though. I love it. It keeps the off seasons busy.
Yeah, it does. But I don't know. I've just suffered so much trauma with, Josh Freeman and KB's neighbor, and I could.
I told you he's no longer my neighbor anymore.
Oh,
right?
He moved.
Yeah. Mike Glennon was my
Mike Glennon, the ultimate finesser. He's finessed I don't know how many teams, and he's made millions and millions. How much is he worth? I'm real curious to know how much he's worth.
I can look up his salary, but we know he probably has some kind of endorsement somewhere.
He's no Chase Daniels, I know that much.
He made more than Chase Daniel.
Oh yeah.
Stop.
He signed 18 years. Yeah, he made 18 million the one year with the Bears.
The Bears. Yes.
Oh yeah.
He's made $31 million in his career just in player salary. Let's look up Chase Daniel.
Shout out Shiano. That's to put him on the map, right? That's to put him on the map.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
What was he, a 3rd round pick?
Third round. Mark Dominic, your favorite GM.
Yep.
What's going on with playoff Lenny? Are we bringing back playoff Lenny?
I think they do.
I don't know.
I love that.
I think
guy.
he earned it too. And I'm anti-pink running backs, Gene, but what he's done, what he did last year, I think to me was just as impressive what he did in the postseason the year before.
Because he improved. He actually he had
every aspect.
Yeah. Until he got hurt. Yeah. So I don't know. that's a guy who. Let me ask you guys this. Jeff, start with you. Who is your number one priority to re-sign?
Got to be Chris Godwin.
Thank you.
It's just got to be Chris Godwin. You need wideouts. I mean, unless there's somebody else out there, but I don't know. I don't know that there is because he's coming off injury, which is tough. But man, he was balling this year, wasn't he?
Yep. Until New Orleans took him out.
Man, he was balling. I think Chris Godwin.
KB.
Godwin, Davis, and then you can have some fun.
Yeah. So is Jensen coming back?
I think they're going to pick one between him and Kappa. It just depends who. I think they believe if one of their young interiors could play center. Like if they think Robert Hainsey is ready, then I think they might prioritize Kappa. But I think they believe Stinney or Hainsey could play right guard, which is why I think they'll give Jensen like 2 or 3 years. But I think they want a veteran quarterback before they throw the money at Jensen.
You kind of need to. I mean, that window is closing, and I would at least get a quarterback that you can plug and play. So
yeah, so if they rolled with Kyle Trask, I think they would go for the younger guy Kappa and then just figure out center. I think, but if they're bringing in Jimmy G, Carr, they're not going to get Wilson or any of those guys. I feel like they would bring back Jensen over Kappa. But you're not getting both. That one's for sure.
Yeah. And they're not going to take the Saints route where they just like kick the can down the road over and over and over again.
I think they will, only because the salary cap is going to just expand so much because of these new TV deals and the red zone deals and the game or the Thursday night games, the money, like all those things are being renegotiated.
So is Amazon getting the Thursday night game?
Yes, they've already came out with the logo for it.
And that starts this year coming up, right?
It's this year or the following. I'm not 100% sure.
As long as
is that why they raised the prime prices? $20?
No, they raised the prime prices because they spent like $1.5 billion on a Lord of the Rings show.
Hey, but Jack Reacher's good though. Jack Reacher.
I've heard that. I need to watch that. I've heard it's really. I love the Tom Cruise movie. Actually,
yeah, I love Tom Cruise, but
this
guy totally made me forget about Tom Cruise. I'm just off subject.
That's hard to do, man.
Jack Reacher is your guy. So if you get a chance to watch it, I am looking now. You guys, and you, Jeff, you may not know this. I hate Thursday night games. I think they're unnecessary. I've always thought that. Just because of players needing time to recover. Football is such a violent sport, and you have a game on Sunday and you have to turn around and play on Thursday. Preparation, healing, and that kind of thing. I think they kind of throw it out the way. And so I've just never liked Thursday night games, but I got to factor in that it was NBC as well, which really NBC. I don't know who's worse, NBC or CBS. I would say probably NBC.
I'd say NBC. Yeah. CBS at least get Tony.
Yeah, we got Tony. I can deal with Tony. If I could have Aqib Talib calling every game in the NFL, I would be good with that. That's my new favorite. If you put Aqib Talib and Tony Romo together, that would be perfect.
I heard Greg Olsen. Because we didn't get too many Greg Olsen games this year, but I heard he did pretty well.
Yeah, and see, I don't mind Greg Olsen. He's not a jerk like Drew Brees or
not Jonathan Vilma. Keep that guy off my fucking screen.
Yeah, that guy's a clown too. So we're very opinionated around here. So you know. And of course, there's algebra back here. Jumping.
That's Siamese cat, right?
Yeah. And he's cross-eyed.
Oh. It makes me think of Lady and the Tramp every time I see a Siamese cat.
So there we go. Oh, Bud Cannibalist, I like this. Germany and Mexico. I would love to go to a game in Germany.
It's gonna happen, Gene. We're one of the partners of Germany, so they rolled it out. I think
the logo out.
Yeah, the NFL released a statement on that. They didn't name like who's playing when and where, but there's 4 games over the next 4 years, and then there's 4 teams that are associated with Germany with the whole like world restructuring thing, which I don't understand how the Rams got like 5 different territories. But like the Bucks, that was their place, was Germany.
I'm good with that. NFL Europe was wild. I mean, that was I hate that went away because that was kind of cool to get other players to be able to you had players that came out of NFL Europe, so it was a really good time. I hate they let that go away.
Don't sleep on going to a game in that Mexico stadium. I've played there. That place is bumping.
I bet that's wild. What is that like?
I mean, that the stadium they play at is Azteca, I think. It is a cathedral. I mean, it is like
how many people does that hold?
Massive, over 100,000. It is just massive, massive. There's tons of history. It's in a crazy part of town. That would be an experience to go watch an NFL game down there.
So what was it like playing there?
It was cool, man. It was just like there's so much history down there, especially for soccer. So, you're walking down the tunnel. I mean, the tunnel felt like it was almost a mile long just to walk down to the field. And, everything's a little bit old school, so there's a ton of concrete. And it's funny, and when we play down there because obviously the altitude at the stadium is tough, really tough. And
like playing in Denver?
You look at even worse. I've played in Denver. This was much worse. So there's the home locker room, and you look into the home locker room, and it's nice. There's oxygen tanks. There's like all the things that you need. And you look into the visiting locker room, and it's just this tiny little concrete thing with nothing, just absolutely nothing. So, I mean, it was cool. It was definitely a cool experience. But, I would, as an NFL fan, I bet those things get pretty nutty.
Yeah, man, I couldn't even imagine that. I mean, especially when I think about Denver, I've heard that that's like a really tough place to play just because of the altitude.
Yeah, it's tough to breathe, man. It's just so tough to breathe. And I'm a goalie. Like, the guys that have to run around, those are the ones that suffer the most. But it's crazy because everything handles differently. The ball travels differently. You breathe differently. And then in Mexico, it's even worse. So I'm sure the guys I'm sure the players aren't too pumped to go down there. But as a fan, I wouldn't sleep on going down there as an experience.
Yeah. So what part is that? Mexico? Is that Mexico City?
Mexico City, yeah.
Azteca in Mexico City.
Okay. All right.
Huge stadium.
Didn't they have a game there like a couple years ago where there was like a really bad fog or something?
Well, the Raiders and somebody didn't play because the field was so beat up.
So it was the field.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think the 49ers were the ones with the fog then. Okay. I actually remember they canceled a game because of something in Mexico City.
That is so
wild.
It's
certainly an experience.
So the NFL is really trying to expand this. I think COVID slowed down the NFL, getting a team overseas. Because I honestly believe they would have inched closer and closer to sending Jacksonville to some place over in either the UK or somewhere. But I think eventually it'll happen.
Speaking of overseas football, when are we ever going to see the U.S. men compete with the women? When are they going to be on the same level, you think?
Give it not this World Cup, but the next World Cup. I think we're going to be pretty
You think
good.
there's good enough young young guys to make that difference up?
Yeah, I think so. This turned into a soccer podcast.
It's whole football, structure,
baby. Football meets football. The whole structure of everything has changed so much that it takes a couple cycles of players to kind of get through the system and build the way that you need them to. But so obviously not in 2022, but in 2026, the U.S., Canada, and Mexico are all hosting the World Cup together. So I think by 2026 we'll be making a little bit more noise than a lot of people would expect. So I don't know if we'll ever get to the level of the women, though. The women are the best in the world and pretty consistently.
So who are you for this year? Are you Team USA for the World Cup?
Duh, always. Always, man. Last World Cup was horrible because they didn't make it. I mean, it's still fun to watch, of course.
Yeah, it was bad. So
everybody gets behind it. Everybody gets behind it when they're in the World Cup.
Yeah, it's just wild getting to go to some of these other countries that their teams are out there. Like Portugal it was fun going to Portugal. I was there in 2017, and then I've been to Madrid, and then Barcelona, and I just started collecting jerseys. So I got football jerseys and I got football jerseys. So
I'll have to send you a Timbers jersey.
Hey, I'm all for it, man. I'm down. I'm down. So no, it's gonna be really interesting to see how this all plays out. I wasn't real thrilled. I know it's gonna be in Qatar, and I know that there's a lot of stuff going on, but hopefully it's a competitive tournament, and the best team wins out of all this.
It'll be cool. It'll be cool. I mean, it'll be crazy because usually it's over the summer, but now it's in the winter because of the weather. So you're gonna
Right.
have football going on. You're gonna have the World Cup going on. You're gonna have a lot of stuff going on in the winter. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be fun though.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched one like Winter Olympic event yet, so I don't know how my brain's
I've
gonna
watched some
process
skiing.
all these things.
I've watched some skiing. Skiing's all right.
Yeah.
Women's
I gotta
hockey lost to Canada, but they're doing all right.
Hey, I got to get
Yeah,
into
but they
the
don't have any
curling.
professionals, right? Because the NHL said no way.
Yeah.
So curling it is. I'm all for
They
it.
didn't
Wait,
have. They
how
didn't
is
have that.
Canada's
They didn't
hockey
have that
team doing?
miracle either. They didn't have that miracle either. Wasn't a bunch of professionals, just a bunch of young scrappers representing for the country.
Well, yeah, but so I mean, Canada's basically what Russia was 50 years ago. But like, how is Canada doing without any of their guys?
Oh, I don't know. It's just been women so far. I don't think the men's has even started yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see though.
Which our women are good though.
Anticipation's killing
They're
me.
fun.
Yeah.
So I guess we've been talking about some of these quarterbacks. I do want to switch gears a little bit and talk about Jason Light, because Jason Light has been nothing short of amazing the last few years, getting players in, keeping players, getting players to return, and just putting this team in a position to where they will be competitive. Because the last Super Bowl run we saw, the Bucks were depleted because of the salary cap, because of no draft picks. There were just a lot of things that were going on, and now you've got a general manager and a front office that's really on top of the game, and they're putting this team in a position to be successful. So I'm really looking forward to this upcoming off season to really see what Jason Light is gonna get done. And I know a lot of people are panicking because Tom Brady's gone, but I think that who knows? You don't know what's going to happen between now and the beginning of the season.
I mean, it's a big test for him, right? Like, this is a huge test to see what type of team he can put together with Tom Brady leaving. Because there's a lot of people that think people were coming just for Brady. So I think this is a massive test for him. And like I said, I think that they've built a team that can win now, even without Brady, if you're able to get the right guy into place. And the division is up for grabs. So I hope he stays aggressive. I hope that Kyle Trask was a good draft pick. That's still, we got to figure that out. We drafted him pretty high as a quarterback. So you got to hope that he eventually is going to be the future if it's not now. But it's a big test for him this offseason. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. We're in better hands than we were before. But, like I said, this is a big one.
Yeah. KB, I know I just saw that look on your face. So go ahead.
Sorry, I was just chuckling. Kyler Murray's asking for $50 to $55 million a year. That just makes me laugh. But no.
So let me ask you this.
Because they made the playoffs.
Barely.
You just brought up Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray didn't have his number one receiver. I know they kind of backed into the playoffs, but when this guy has his full complement of weapons, he's a different player. I mean, he's actually able to work with him.
But is that DeAndre Hopkins or is that Kyler Murray though? Because I've seen DeAndre Hopkins make playoffs basically borderline by himself.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
I'm not saying Kyler's bad.
No, but you're
50 to 55 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's leaking out because of agents. So I mean, probably realistically, some team might. I mean, teams are talking about giving Baker $400 million last year.
Why?
So because that's media, that's hype, that's quarterback, because supply and demand and all of that fun stuff. But like, back to Jason Light. So the one thing that bothered me last year, and I think our team really suffered by the end of the year, was, well, the team's already basically brought back together. Let's just draft special teams guys. Well, what happened to your receiving game when players got injured? What happened to your offensive line when players got injured? What happened to your secondary when players got injured? And I think that's just a toll that I think Light's best drafts have been when it's basically we identify a couple really specific needs early, take the best players available later, developmental guys, whether if that's an offensive lineman or a receiver with maybe some returnability. Like that's where Jason Light has made his money really, because I'm not going to judge him on anything he did with Lovey and Dirk. With
Yeah.
Bruce Arians, he's basically hit a home run, but I think his second half of his draft, rounds 3 through 6, I think he got a good one in Grant Stewart in the
Yeah.
7th round. So hats off to you, Light, to get even a special teams player in the 7th round is fantastic. But I'm not saying he needs an absolute home run for high quality. Like he needs to hit his first 2 rounds, and then he's got to find, that inside linebacker depth to replace a Kevin Minter. They need to find maybe an edge player that can be like, I forgot his name in Pittsburgh, who's been backing up like TJ Watt, who came in and whenever he played, you'd get a couple sacks. Like that's what this team needs. They need some role players with upside that aren't just special teams guys.
Yeah. So you because you've got your base. You pretty much got your base here, and you're talking about players you could just plug in and they will fit into the system and help everybody who you have as your main players. So yeah, I cannot argue with that at all. Is there any position that you're seeing? I mean, just right now with the team the way it is, that the Bucks should really key in on?
Let's say they bring back Jensen. Let's say they bring back Whitehead. Let's say they bring back Davis. Let's say they bring back Godwin. Let's just say those are the big four. Gronk retires. Bring back maybe a
Or go
couple.
Cincinnati.
I maybe not first round. I think second round you go second. Like you need someone like to fill in for Davis or because you're not going to bring back long term Dean or SMB. You got to pick one, and I think right now Dean's got the
He's got the
long
upside.
edge there. But I think they really need a guy who can play inside and outside. I mean, Sean Murphy Bunting has the tools, but he hasn't put it together yet, and I don't think you can bank on that.
And there you can't keep him on the field.
And
Yeah.
I think the Bucks, I mean, we've seen it. Like they were, I think, afraid to play man a bunch just because they were afraid of getting hurt, which wound up happening, even if they didn't play man all the time. But we know when they play man, they're fucking good.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if you get yourself more bodies, better chance of things working out. I think first round, I think they're going to go offensive weapon.
I would go wide receiver. I know I'm probably the minority here.
I say weapon because, I mean, when I was on the Loose Cannons podcast when the draft was going live, like Jake Arians, you could see his face light up whenever Travis Etienne was like mentioned. I think that's the kind of guy like they want. And I say weapon because it could be a receiver. It could be I'm not going to say a running back because I don't want a running back, but I want someone who can, not like per se Godwin, someone who's shifty, who can play inside and out, can be used as a weapon, can get balls out of the backfield if needed. Like not Debo Samuel, but like
like a Debo, or even Camaro.
That guy's one of a kind.
No, but that's what what I'm saying is someone who can give you a little bit of diversity. So if Godwin were to go down or Evans were to go down, you're not completely stuck in Brashad Perriman or any guy that we basically signed off the street.
What do you think about tight end? If Gronk goes, do you think we could use help there?
I think they take one in like the 4th round. They take like a blocking tight end because Bruce Arians, I mean, he loves his Heath Millers, like not guys who are going to get 1,000 yards or even be as good as what Gronk is. I think Gronk was just a product of Brady's influence with Byron to tweak things a little bit. But Bruce Arians and Byron typically don't like using tight ends. So I think Cameron Brate's just a great guy to have. They'll probably negotiate his salary down again. I think people forget how good Cam Brate can actually be.
Yeah, I think
OJ's
I mean,
gone.
before Gronk came in, he was great.
Dude, he's in like a top 5 or 10 in like touchdowns in our team's history or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm looking that up.
And at that, you got to thank Jameis Winston for that. Was Jameis Winston's security blanket, and that's who he went to a lot. Was Cam Brate. So yeah, I could see them. I don't know. What do you do with OJ Howard?
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's in the same boat as like Rojo. It's nothing personal. They need to sprout their wings somewhere else. Someone needs to take a chance on them, and they need to be motivated to take their games to the next level because it just wasn't happening here.
And I believe, like, especially with Rojo needs to be in a system where he can just be a running back. And I mean, I think the system that Tampa has, they require you to block. They require you. There's so much more that they require of you.
Gene,
Yes.
if you had to pick 1 through 10 where you think Cam Brate is in Bucks' most touchdowns receiving ever, where do you think he lands?
7.
We know whose number 1 is.
6 or 7.
Okay. What about you, our esteemed guest?
I'm gonna go 7.
I'm gonna say 5. 3. Yeah.
Wow.
You got Mike Evans, Jimmy Giles, Cam Brate. Chris Godwin's number 5.
He's on his way though.
No, but my point is Cam Brate has had, I mean, granted, a lot of it was Jameis, and I think a product of Jameis and Dirk and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But man, you can't deny that. Like, this man's a red zone weapon.
Yeah. And there was a period of time that he wasn't getting the ball. And I couldn't grasp that. That was like, I don't know if you probably guys don't remember this, but Mike Allstott, there was a time where Mike Allstott wasn't getting the ball, and he should have been. Right. It's just one of those things. And once they figured it out, I think Brady figured it out for himself, and they got that chemistry going, and you saw where he made a difference. Bud Cannibalist, Camaro Patterson is a free agent. Yeah. So, but I don't know that.
If they don't want to draft an offensive weapon, Gene, I think that's intriguing.
Will they use him the way that Atlanta used him?
No, but that's the thing. The Bucks won't. Let's just be real. But like, that would be fun.
Yeah, it would be if they were using him like Atlanta. I mean, I would, if it were me, and as much as I hate Atlanta, I would go back to Atlanta. That he was being utilized like he should be used. I mean,
it's like he finally found a home.
Yeah, you kind of saw it in Chicago a little bit, but when he got to Atlanta, it was just on another level, and he flourished from it.
Well, and then T. Smitty's bringing up Rojo with the 49ers. How about Rojo in Baltimore where he'll never have to catch a pass? Exactly. I think that one would be fun for him.
Yeah, because that's what he is. He's a running back.
And he's a damn good runner.
Yeah.
He's still a better runner than Lenny. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, the way he hits the hole, and I mean, no hesitation, and he runs forward. So, I love that about him. It's just like I said, he didn't fit what Bruce Arians' offense calls for a running back. So, it's just kind of where that ended up.
But yeah, I'm with you, Gene. I think they're going to take a wide receiver, someone who can play a little bit of mix of like Mike and Chris, like not fully Chris Godwin, but I mean, you're not going to find Mike Evans everywhere. But like a big body who can move a little bit and is a willing blocker, I think is the kind of guy they're looking for.
There you go.
Just go 3 tight ends, a tight end, and a running back. I think that's how the Bucks are going to live.
Yeah. And, this is such a really light news week other than the Super Bowl. What'd you guys think about Justin Watson signing with Kansas City?
Bro, he's never going to see the ball, though.
What
what I never understand is how did Juju turn down the Chiefs?
I don't know.
He turned down the Chiefs for less money to stay with declining Big Ben.
He probably
imagine how much money he'd be making if he had thousands with Mahomes.
I'm telling you, AB he was like, "Hey man, don't do it." AB was influenced.
That's crazy though. AB was actually right about Juju though.
What? That he's the number 2?
Not even.
He hasn't had a quarterback that can get him the ball either, though.
Oh, I mean, I'm not saying Juju's not good, but like when he did play with the Steelers the past 2 years,
he wasn't a number 1 guy. He wasn't your number 1. So there is that.
But I'm just saying, if he was in a system with Mahomes, you literally can sneeze 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
being the number 3 guy.
Who was it? Watkins. Sammy Watkins looked like a freaking
Super Bowl year.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally get that. Hey Emily, how you doing? Next season can't get here fast enough. I'm Ray Jones, and you and me both. It's gonna be tough.
What am I gonna do for the next 6 months?
Turn off Twitter.
Turn off Twitter.
Watch the Lightning. So
the Lightning is about all I got.
Yeah.
But I live in Canes territory, so I gotta find my unique ways to watch them, which Gene already knows I do.
So I gotta ask you. I'm just gonna go back to this one more time. What is it about? What is the appeal for Justin Watson?
There is no appeal. They just need a body. He's not making the 53 unless he's like a special teams guy.
But he was like, he's always been consistent on special teams. We've seen that when he was here in Tampa.
I thought you were going to say route running. That's what made me laugh. Because Brady even threw 2 pick sixes to Watson on an out route.
I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to. No, I just wondered what is it? What is the appeal for Justin Watson? I call him Randy Watson, but I know his real name is
He could sneeze his way to 300-400 yards with Mahomes. I mean, we see how bad some of these. Byron Pringle is now going to be a fantasy sleeper all next year.
Yeah.
Who was Brian Pringle before 3 or 4 weeks ago?
Who knows?
So that's what I mean. All you have to do is play with Mahomes and that system. And as a receiver, fuck, I'd want to play there. I'm gonna get money. I'm gonna get yards.
Exactly. So Jeff, I had a question for you, and this has just kind of popped up, and got a question for you here and there. When you were trying to stay in shape, I mean, was it like a year-round process for you? Like, because soccer players are on a freaking other level.
I don't know how y'all run, man.
I don't even know how to, and I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Like our seasons went from like mid to late January, and if we made the finals, it was over in December. So, the season's pretty much year round anyway, but yeah, you take like 3 or 4 weeks off to party and have fun, and then you kind of get right back to it. But I think that's everybody across the board in terms of sports. But fortunately, I was a goalie, so like I said, the whole running thing isn't for me too much. But we have other ways to stay in shape. But I'm with you guys on the whole running thing.
Yeah,
so.
But you got to keep all the hand-eye coordination ready to go at
Bro,
all times.
so it's more about burst for you then, though, right? It's more like
quick movements. Quick movements. But yeah, I mean, you do your best to stay in shape. The older I got, the more I was able to time it and space it all a little bit better, when to have fun, when to start working in the off season, things like that. The thing I want to do now is, like I said, the owner of Smack, my father-in-law, Wayne, he's always been telling me that he wants me to go out and kick field goals just to see what I could do. So that's going to be my next adventure. I'm just going to go out there and kick a few field goals and see what I got in the locker. They got that new Tampa Bay Bandits team coming into town. See if I could try to walk on for that bad boy.
There we go. Hey, anyway, shout out to
like.
Wayne. Wayne is such good people, man. That guy is a wealth of sports knowledge end to end. I mean, I couldn't hang with him in a trivia contest. There's no way. This guy.
I don't know many of that. He's like a real life stump the Schwab. You remember that
he
show?
is. Yeah.
Oh my God, what a pull! I used to love that.
So we're standing over by his office, and he comes out and he shoots out like 5 rapid fire questions. And I was just like, wow, this guy, how do you even come up with that? So
we got him on. We had something going on the other day. I was like trying to stump him, and there was just not, you couldn't even find things on the internet that could get him wrong.
No, he knows his stuff. So I saw the Tom Brady, the thank you Tom Brady t-shirts, man. Those are nice. I don't even have one yet, but I'm working on it.
We still got to go to print. So we're printing them this week, but yeah, I mean, if you're listening, there's a promo code Tampa, get you 25% off all the Tampa stuff we have on the website right now. But yeah, we came out, we had a little 3-shirt series. So it's, the legend of him, just like a nice tribute, confetti coming down the back of his jersey. There's a proper like thank you Tom with a little note shirt, and then there's the one, of course, with him getting off the boat, the moment that he was really turned into Tampa Tom, and it's it also says legend on it, and it's dedicated to him. So we're really happy with how the shirts turned out, and we thought it was appropriate to have one of each, one for the party, one for the field, and one just as a nice thank you to the legend that is Tom Brady and what he did in Tampa. So if you're watching and you want to check it out, 25% off, promo code Tampa. It's a good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, guys, when you get a chance, SmackApparel.com, be sure to check them out. And we'll definitely be giving away some of those shirts as well. You answer 10 questions in 1 minute, shirt's yours. You got to roll the dice.
Not Wayne questions, though, because those would be impossible. Nobody will get it.
Yeah, the questions are pretty easy, And, speaking of the questions, I figured we could try this out right now, Most guests that come on, 10 questions, 1 minute. I start the timer. and
boy.
I'll ask questions. And listen, it's not hard. There's no wrong
These
answer.
are like the easiest questions ever, man.
These are easiest questions in the world.
It's been a
So
long day, boys.
you got this, bro. You got this. You are repping Smack Apparel, man. You got this.
Yeah, you literally won the free T-shirt, so
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about that.
exactly. So just go. Just when you
I
get
give
in,
the free T-shirts.
hey, when you get in, just pick a T-shirt out for yourself.
Right.
So
I will do.
let me know when you're ready, and let me get the clock going because people accuse me of cheating all the time, and
You do cheat.
just
No, I'm just kidding.
dispel that myth. All right.
Let it rip. I'm ready when you are. Let it rip.
All right. So I got the timer up, folks. You can see the timer here. All right. So, all right. First question: who gets a head coaching job first, Todd Bowles or Lord Byron?
Who gets the coaching job first?
Yes.
Byron.
The Bucks will re-sign Godwin. Buy or sell?
Buy.
Ryan Tannehill can lead his team to a Super Bowl. Buy or sell?
Win the Super Bowl or to a Super Bowl?
To a Super Bowl.
Buy.
All right. Cincinnati has the best wide receiver room in the Super Bowl. Buy or sell?
Sell.
Better Bucks Super Bowl winning coach, BA or John Gruden?
John Gruden.
At some point, Joe Burrow will win a Super Bowl. Buy or sell?
Buy.
Stafford or Burrow, who would you build a team around in their prime?
Burrow.
Burrow. Oh, okay. Greatest playoff game in Bucks history, Philly or Bucks at New Orleans?
Ooh, Philly.
Next season, Tennessee Titans, contenders or pretenders?
Contenders.
Ronaldo or Messi, who you got?
Messi.
All right. Well, you missed it by a few seconds, but I was stumbling on my question. So if we round it all up, you would have gotten it. I'm just going to
So
put
here's
it
my
down.
Ryan Tannehill theory, though. Derrick Henry can lead the team to the
Please.
Super Bowl, but if Ryan Tannehill happens to be the guy that is under center to get the benefit of that running back, Super Bowl.
Just like
But-
Jimmy G in the running game with the 49ers. Sorry, I
But-
just had to throw it down.
I don't mind Tannehill. I don't mind Tannehill.
I'm just
I
teasing.
really don't
I'm
mind
just
Tannehill.
But if you
No, I
think
mean he
about-
did great this year with Henry hurt. Considering AJ Brown hurt, Julio Jones hurt. I mean, I think he did
Yeah, I mean,
more than okay.
I mean, if Julio Jones was Julio Jones the way they expect him to be, that could have been a different. That's
Can we talk about
a
AJ
good
Brown
offense.
basically being Julio Jones? That man
AJ
is
Brown's a beast.
completely underrated.
They have
Yeah,
the
he-
easiest. They might have the worst division in football too. So Tennessee's going to be.
They got Lovey.
Tennessee-
Every team got two free wins.
That's 2 free wins
Oh
right
man,
there.
that's mean. That's mean.
They
It's
said
true.
that. I feel bad for Texas
Gene,
fans.
in like apparently a couple minutes into his opening press conference, the fire alarm went off, Gene. If you want to talk about just bad omens,
Yeah, you got to.
Lovey Smith needs to throw some salt, go walk underneath the ladder. He needs to do all the above, man.
Yeah, get a voodoo doll. Just the whole nine.
I
Emily
didn't,
Compa
I
has
didn't mind Lovey, man. I didn't mind Lovey.
Emily Compa has a question for you guys. So how long do we give Tom to change his mind and give it one last try? Wasn't
Day
he
one of training
contracted-
camp.
Day one
Actually,
of-
fuck it. Anytime before the playoffs. If we make the playoffs with Gabbard or Trask, I'd let Tommy come in. We have his rights.
This is true. So
Hey, Tommy came in with no preseason, Gene. No
he-
preseason. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
So
Nah,
go ahead.
I think he's done. Like he
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
seem like the type of guy that would get this decision wrong.
yeah,
himself.
he's not Brett Favre.
Yeah, he seems like he's pretty calculated in all of his decisions.
How cool would it be though if he came to a Bucks game next year with like his family in like a box? I think that'd be cool.
It'd be
Hey,
cool if he
giving the
stuck around. It'd be cool if he stuck around for sure.
I think he's got Jeter's house. Wasn't he like building
No,
or he was buying
he's
another
building-
one?
He's building his own house in Miami, I think.
in Miami, right? Yeah.
Jeter
He's
is.
always hanging out with. He's always
No,
hanging out with.
Tom is. Tom was.
He's
just
always
renting
hanging
a
out
house.
with David.
Oh.
He's always hanging out with David Beckham down there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. David Beckham, cool dude.
That's a power hangout right there.
Yeah, it is. That right there, man. That's royalty. So
Oh
Well,
man, they paid $17 million just for the property. Holy shit. Sorry.
Chump change. Giselle makes more than him.
I
Chump
know.
Exactly.
Chump
That's just his beer money that he's paying for that
Yeah.
house. Those are rich.
Well, now he can drink. Apparently, I mean, Tommy, I've heard, can chug a beer with the best of them.
You never seen
He
that
just quit
that
doing
late
it.
night?
The late
Yeah.
night, yeah. That was.
He's just a competitor. You can just tell he wants to win everything.
Exactly.
Uh-oh.
He's just a competitor.
There we go.
Oh.
Well, guys, I can't believe it. It's been an hour already that we've just been here chopping it up. And Jeff, you are welcome on the show anytime. Anytime you want to come on. If you want to come on next week, you can. You know, there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about, but you know, we got to talk a little bit about movies and Prime, and you know, are you doing anything special for the Super Bowl? Are you cooking or anything?
Man, we are cheering so hard for the Bengals. You have no idea. We are cheering so hard for the Bengals with Smack. So we'll be watching, man, very intently. But I have perfected my air fryer chicken wings. I won't lie, and they'll make an appearance at the Super Bowl. But we will be watching very closely and cheering very hard for the Bengals.
There you go.
So that's our plans.
I'm kind of torn because, you know, I'm on the one hand, I'm mad about the Rams, and I felt like the Bucs should have won that game, but you know, whatever. But Matt Stafford is an incredible story. He's an incredible philanthropist, and I say incredible. I don't use that word loosely. What he's done for people in the inner city in Detroit was nothing short of amazing, and just, you know, he's still showing that in LA, inviting people to come to the games and buying tickets and stuff like that out of his own pocket. He's just a true. He's somebody that genuinely does care, and I always root for people like that, regardless.
I really, really like Matt Stafford. But for the fans in LA, or like the lack thereof of people that truly care about their football team,
Yeah,
like you got to cheer for Cincinnati, man. These people are going nuts. They've been suffering. They're long sufferers in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Long sufferers. It'd be cool for them to win.
They're right there with Detroit and Atlanta and Carolina.
If they weren't in Cleveland's division, they'd get a lot more recognition as long sufferers. But everyone always just goes to Cleveland.
Yeah, and Cincinnati's never won anything. I mean, it's in the Super Bowl era.
Hopefully it's time.
We'll see. And you know, the ownership, and you know, just what they've tried to do in Cincinnati, I think it's overdue for a team like that. I just when I look at that Rams team and what they've put together, I would kind of laugh inside if they didn't make it and they bet the farm and draft picks and all this other stuff. That would make me happy, truly, and the football gods would, you know, smile and make this happen. But I don't know. I just look at that team, and I think that they're focused on winning that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense for the Bengals to win, but I'm really hoping they do.
Yeah, didn't make any sense for them to beat Kansas City either, you know. So, and that they basically vanquished, you know, Jackson and Patty Mahomes, or whatever her name is, or Kennedy, or whatever her name is. So
Brittany.
Yeah, Brittany. I'm calling her Patty or whatever.
Just remember, free Brittany, but not that one.
Yeah, the wrong one. But no, honestly, I love Joe Burrow. KB actually drafted him the one year I came out of retirement to play fantasy, and that was when he got injured.
He was my backup to Dak, man.
Yeah,
I had both of them go
got
down.
hurt, and then Joe Burrow went down. But just watching this kid play, his attitude, and just he's going to be successful in the NFL. That's the one thing I could tell you about him.
He's fun.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I want to thank you again. And Jeff, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. And are you doing the social media for Smack?
I am. We almost got a million views on a video It's coming soon, which is actually kind of cool. But so yeah, I'm doing the social media at Smack. If you want to follow us at Smack Apparel, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And then if you want to follow me, it's Jeff_Attinella1. And I'm usually just on there popping off sports takes and, you know, random stuff that comes in my head. So
like it.
Those are the good places. And then, like I said, you know, if you're looking for some Tampa gear, 25% off at Smack Apparel, just the promo code Tampa. we got some good stuff coming out pretty consistently. So, get on it while you still can.
Absolutely.
That's all I got. I appreciate you boys having me on. This is fun.
Yeah, all right. KB, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
They know they can get a hold of me on Twitter, Gene. I just want to yell at the football gods real quick. Who put Valentine's Day and the Super Bowl on back-to-back days?
It was meant to be. It was meant to be. So I've heard people clamoring for a Super Bowl to be on Saturday. Curse you.
Just make it the day before President's Day or whatever, where people generally have off work.
That would be awesome if they could do that.
Add games, whatever they want. Just shift. They can move around the schedule however they like. They're the NFL. If they wanted to flip 6 months, they could do it. No one would notice or care because it's the NFL. Everyone would watch. Just don't give me 2 holidays back to back.
By the way.
Yeah, thank you. I gotta put that in. I gotta talk to Siri.
Monday. We all gotta go from Super Bowl to work to Valentine's Day in a span of 24 hours.
Yeah, and guys, thank you so much. Everybody that's in the chat, I appreciate you. Shout out to Smack Apparel. I am rocking the John Lynch Welcome to Canton shirt because, just because. I want to thank Smack Apparel as usual for everything that they do, and so many listeners have gotten so much joy from the Smack Apparel t-shirts, and it's greatly appreciated. So love you guys, and I will always be there for you. That's pretty much it for us. I don't know what you guys are going to be doing for the Super Bowl. Watch it begrudgingly or just have some fun. It's the last game of the season, and then we go into the pit of misery until camp comes around. So enjoy this while you can, and we definitely will. But that's pretty much it for us, and we are out of here.